What's up guys, Metrc Guru here. Today we're going to spend some time looking at 7 of the most common metric mistakes companies are making right now. These are things that are happening over and over again, and if you are aware of them and your team is aware, you might be able to save some huge headaches down the line. So let's dive in. The first mistake that we've seen quite a bit here is that when you're creating items, you're using the wrong names or the wrong categories, and your team might not even be recognizing it. Now, when this happens, it's a lot of wasted time and a lot of bottlenecks and headaches down the line. So what you're going to want to do is make sure that you have SOPs in place and that you also use the proper naming conventions up front and then be consistent with those. The next is going to be forgetting to order tags. Now, this is a very important one because if you don't have enough tags to sufficiently package products so you can sell them compliantly with Metrc, then you're going to be losing out on sales and hurting your business. So you're going to want to be preemptively ordering tags so that you always have enough and a large stack in place so that you can fulfill orders regardless of the demand that might come. Now, the next is voiding an outgoing transfer after it has departed. Voiding a transfer causes the transfer to actually be canceled, and all the associated packages are then returned to the originating licensee's inventory. While you can do this, and it's important, we actually recommend here that you do not do this because ultimately it kind of goes against section 5314 in the BCC regulation, which states that a licensed distributor shall not void or change a shipping manifest after departing from the originating licensed premises. So when you're voiding or altering a transfer post-departure, it could be a clear violation of this section. So you want to be careful with this. While it is possible to do, you could end up being audited down the line, which would be potentially a big red flag. Now, the next is going to be marking a transfer received before physically receiving this. Now, I understand why you might want to do this. It's nice to know that you can receive this, get it ready for sale, and hopefully get sales as quickly as possible. But what might happen is that when you haven't received it, you might not know that less inventory is going to actually come with that package, or it might not have the right test results. It might just be the wrong product altogether. So if you're going to be receiving it before looking at it, you kind of put yourself in a situation where some issues can arise. So always make sure you physically receive it, you check it out and examine it before you go ahead and receive that package. The next is going to be creating a production batch from an already tested package. It's not super problematic because there's ways where you can discontinue the package and just recreate it again, but it does cause issues in regards to wasting time. And at the end of the day, time is money, and we don't want you wasting a ton of time if you don't have to. Now, the next is going to be adjusting packages when you should discontinue. Now, adjusting packages is great. You can make these adjustments. You've got all the Metrc allowed reasons, but if you do it too often, Metrc is actually looking at this and they will keep an eye on you. So you don't want to be using it as your scapegoat every single time. Use the discontinue option as something that can help you out, and ultimately don't be afraid to discontinue, because if you are overly adjusting, it can cause a couple red flags with the Metrc and state required systems. Now, next is going to be creating a test sample or new package and sending it to the lab when doing an R&D test. Now, instead of doing that, what you should actually be doing is use the adjustment feature and select the reason of research and development. That will adjust the package you wish to R&D test and give it to the lab without transferring anything. So that's the better option there, and you want to be careful there so that you're not transferring product that shouldn't be transferred. Now, at the end of the day, we want to make sure that these mistakes are avoided so that you guys are as compliant as possible. We also want to make sure that you're not wasting time doing actions inside the Metrc system. I hope this was a helpful article for you, and that these 7 different tips could be helpful for you and your team. If you'd like to actually read the full article, I'm going to link it in the description below so that you and your team can spend some time learning and best avoiding these 7 Metrc mistakes. Thanks so much for watching, and looking forward to talking to you again.